Given that the Android operating system runs on a variety of platforms and CPU architectures, why don't we take a quick moment to talk about what the different architectures are and how you can target them? I have an app here from an earlier demonstration that I did, and since this is really just about settings, I really don't need to create a separate project for this. I'm going to go into Project and then Properties and show you where the settings are for this. So inside of Project Properties, go into Android Options and then find the section that says Advanced. And from here, you can actually target different environments. So just to talk about each one for just a quick second. The first one is the ARM EABI CPU. The only thing to remember about this one is that it isn't thread safe. So the assembly that comes out of this, you can't run that effectively on multi-CPU devices. So if you're going to deploy to such a device, you probably don't want to target this one as your only option. The next one down, the V7A, is one that supports floating point operations with multiple CPUs. And these two aren't really compatible with each other. So again, you probably don't want to just target this one if you're going to be running devices that support this older one. So you probably need both of these at a minimum. And then after that, you have the 64-bit processor, the ARM V8A. So that's important if you want to deploy to, again, 64-bit processors. And then below that, you have the Intel platforms, x86 and the 64-bit version of the Intel processor. So you'll note that right now, these are grayed out because right now I am set with my configuration to debug. And if I go back over to packaging, you'll see what's going on here. By default, in debug mode, it's going to use the shared runtime, which basically means there's going to be assembly that's created that will run with pretty much anything. And this is great for debugging because you can use whatever emulator you would like to, and it's just going to work. And then the second thing is this fast deployment technology. This is going to try to just deploy the changes that you've made to your app instead of deploying all of the assemblies every single time. So this speeds up your development process a little bit. Now you'll note that when I change this from debug to release, these two checks go away. And now when I switch back to my advanced tab, in release mode, I can now target whichever assemblies I would like to include. Now, usually you're going to set more than one of these, and what happens is one APK gets generated with all of these requirements built into that single APK. Naturally, this is going to increase the size of your final app, but I think it's kind of nice to have one app that's compatible with all the different platforms.